good morning, and welcome back to the Brandon Mason Show. I hope all of you had a great day. It is Friday, okay? Let me just break that down for you right now. It's Friday. I hope all of you are having a good start, and welcome back to the show. I know a lot of people right now that are coming in here. Listen, it's a sensitive topic, and when I say that right now today, obviously O.J. Simpson dead, 76 years old. And then we have another topic on here with Michelle Obama. People are saying she's a man or she's not a man. Look, it's a conspiracy topic. I don't know the answer. This is conversation, and my job is to bring it to your attention as we're bringing it up and expanding our network. So anybody that's coming here today, don't get your panties in a bunch. Don't get upset. Don't get worried. Don't take it wrong, and don't think that I'm coming up with this information as if I know these topics. It's just quote unquote in the media. Is it true? Is it not? And we have some things that are popping up that people should be talking about as it resurfaces because it's kind of important. And let me tell you something. Nothing ceases to amaze me or surprise me anymore because things are happening left and right. And we're like, I didn't believe that. Wow, I found out that was true. And you know what? I do believe that. Found out that's not true. So look, it's some things are conspiracies, some things are not. So we're bringing it today's attention as we dive in first to O.J. Simpson, what has transpired through his career, obviously with Nicole Simpson as well, the murder, getting acquitted, all that, all the way into what is going on with Michelle Obama and why this happened with, I believe, Dwayne Wade's son, the transgender, all this conversation. And look, don't take it wrong. Anybody watch this, don't take it wrong. This is just conversation, and people are talking about right now, whether you're white, black, Spanish, doesn't matter. I'm mixed, so there's no issue there. Let's dive into the show, and let's get started. First and foremost, let's talk about O.J. Simpson, right? First and foremost, O.J. Simpson dies of cancer at 76 years old, okay? Let's just say this. 76 years old, he dies of prostate cancer, and you got it right here, 1947 to 2024, a man that had an excellent career as we get started in the conversation. Before we go into all the stuff that everybody knows him for in conversation, let's just run really quickly and talk about O.J. Simpson's career as an athlete, a superstar, Heisman candidate, then also Heisman winner, then gets into the NFL, has an excellent career, plays with the Buffalo Bills, then goes on and plays with the 49ers for a couple years, and the guy was absolutely great, right? Absolutely great. And people are going to bypass all that conversation as we get into more of this today because obviously people know him for a lot of other reasons, which we're going to get into with Nicole Simpson. So listen, let's not get our panties in a bunch. Let's just talk about the topics that's kind of important. It's kind of things that are just hitting yesterday. And obviously, as we go into Michelle Obama. Now, O.J. Simpson, again, as you know, I just pulled up the photo here for you. 1947 to 2024, he dies in, with his family around, his kids, and his grandchildren, which is something, obviously, for them, it's been a long journey for a lot of reasons, right? Long journey. We're going to dive into that right now. But primarily, okay, former NFL star loses the fight to cancer. O.J. Simpson was an incredible athlete, a guy that people would love to watch. He was a superstar. He balled out. He did tons of things. And then he also went into movies. He played in several movies, did a great job there. He was the guy that people wanted to be, breaking records, right? All-time yards, ran over 2,000 rushing yards. He was a phenomenal athlete, and he even said as a kid, look, I'm going to be a superstar, and he was, right? He was. So let's just talk about this, the transition of what O.J. Simpson went through as from being a superstar into moving into the direction of the spotlight in a different way, right? Like the first thing people want to go to, I'm going to go into this in a second, is what are you known for? Like your legacy, like people talk about that all the time. As you build your career, you want to build something sustainable that people can say, hey, I remember him for this, or I remember him for that. Oh, that guy or that girl, oh, I remember her. She did this. That's important, right? This is important conversation. If you're in here right now, good morning to you. Welcome to the live, and hit the like button, subscribe. We're going to dive into this right now even further about O.J. Simpson after he lost the fight to cancer. And there's the photo right there of him being the superstar back in the day, the guy that people were like, man, he's the guy, he's the legend, and now loses the fight to prostate cancer with his family at his side. Sad. But let's move into the conversation that more people now want to talk about. So let's just say this. Acquitted of murder charges, obviously, of his ex-wife. Nicole Simpson. And I have pictures of all these things in conversation here, right? He walks out. This is what O.J. Simpson is, we're going to go into it in a second, what he's known for a long term. But he beats the case, right? He beats the case, and people are like, no, he's guilty. No, he's innocent. And then it started a whole bunch of race wars where you had white people saying, oh, no, he's guilty. Then you have black people, oh, let's free the man. The man's it's not his fault, or he didn't do it, or he didn't murder. Listen, all these things right now, whether you believe it or not, you can put in there in the chat, did he do it or not? Like watching him drive down the street in the Bronco when he's supposed to turn himself in, yeah, if you ask me, watching the whole story and watching how it transitioned and watching that he was one of those guys that people said he was abusing his wife, and that was a known fact, all these kind of things, it leads to the fact that, yeah, he did do it in my eyes, because I'm like, whether he's proven guilty or not, I'm looking at it going, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, right, something's going on, and that's just my personal thoughts, but he did beat it. He beat the whole situation. You see him here. The day that he was acquitted of all those charges, people were like, oh, no, wow, he should be in jail. And obviously his family was pretty excited that he wasn't in jail because they already lost their mom. So to lose their dad would be obviously detrimental. He beats the case, has an excellent attorney, right, was dealing with the Kardashians. We can go to all that conversation with all these great lawyers and then how he was connected to Kris Jenner. We got those pictures. We got tons of stuff to pull up here. And as I pull down on the screen here, I have all kinds of pictures and things to have conversation with, and the truck that he was driving in, and all kinds of topics and information. But this picture right here, what I want to bring up, the transition of his life, right? Like right here, let me pull this picture up for you guys to see this right now. Here we go. The transition of his life, like from a superstar on the field to being someone who people were like, okay, he's an actor, to being like, okay, did he just do this or did he just not do this? Right? These are the conversations that people are having. And you kind of have to think about it in your own head too. Like, okay, I don't know how to believe this. I don't know how to move forward with this because we weren't there. None of us understand. We're just watching the judicial system do their thing, right? So again, acquitted of all those charges, yada, yada, yada. Now, check this out. O.J. Simpson's connection to the Kardashians, right? Like legit, when you watch this stuff, it's like, oh, people are saying this is Khloe's dad. And you're like, wow, this is really interesting, right? Khloe's dad, like this comes out of nowhere. And then you start seeing all these pictures resurfacing of O.J. Simpson. You start looking at Khloe, you start looking at Kris Jenner. And then obviously you have all these other people. And Bruce Jenner's like, what the hell's going on? And you saw his transformation, right? So Bruce Jenner's going through a whole nother now he's Caitlyn Jenner, right? So all these things never really cease to amaze me. And I'm just saying he was so intertwined with all these people. And then to see him driving down the street in the Bronco was like, all right, this is hard to understand, right? Like you're seeing O.J. Simpson, and I got the pictures here I'm going to pull up in a second, what people will remember him for, right? Like, yeah, he's found dead. He was an unbelievable star. And now his wife, was murdered, and then he's riding around in the Bronco, and it's like, what will people remember O.J. Simpson for now that he is gone, right? Is it going to be O.J. Simpson, the superstar NFL guy, or is it going to be O.J. Simpson right here riding around in the Bronco? Because I got the pictures here even to pull up an even better, I guess, shot, if you will. This is O.J. Simpson, right? Riding behind the wheel, like literally was strolling down the street. It wasn't even like at one point, how fast is he driving? Yes, but then it was like, he's just strolling down through his neighborhood, pulls into his driveway, right? And people are like, whoa, like this is interesting. Like O.J. Simpson's on a high-speed chase. And a lot of the world at this point was watching this entire situation unfold. Like they had people on the highways that were living miles and miles and miles down the street, are pulling up to the highway, getting video footage, watching O.J. Simpson stroll down the street with large amount of police officers behind him, chasing him down. As they get further, obviously, to his house, they arrest him out of the driveway peacefully, which looked like it could have been a lot worse, gets into the car, and obviously is acquitted of all those charges, right? He's acquitted of all those charges. So it's like, O.J. Simpson, the ultimate star, gets into this position. So the more important thing in conversation today is, what is O.J. Simpson going to be remembered as? Like remembered as the superstar or the guy that got acquitted of all these charges? And this is pretty obvious, right? Like people are like, wow, OJ did it. And when you talk about OJ Simpson, they don't say, when you start talking about OJ, they go, no, he did it. Like the conversation goes directly toward that. So that's just part of the whole situation. The narrative, not so good. Bad situation. Obviously, dying of prostate cancer isn't any good. So instead of sitting there and watching, obviously, his kids, his grandparents grieve and the loss of their father and grandfather, if you will, now it's more like all these other conversations are going to come about Nicole Smith, and all these conversations now are going to come up and make them relive that whole situation again. And I believe I have other images on here as well of Nicole Smith, which we didn't want to bring that up and make her relive that whole story and other people relive that whole story. But moving on to another conversation of today, which people are for some reason getting their panties in a bunch, and I don't even know why. Like, I'm literally pulling this up for you guys to see first and foremost, like what's just going on, right? Like why people believe Michelle Obama is a man. Like, they do believe that. Like, people are talking about that. I'm not saying everybody believes that. I'm not saying everybody believes that, but what I'm saying is there's a lot of people out there that legit say that. So I'm bringing it to attention because I want to know what you guys think, and people in the media, like, explain to me why I should believe that. Like, why does this make sense, right? Like, I have a lot of pictures down here that I can pull up that people are showing of her, you know, and then here's the thing. What happens is Dwayne Wade's, transgender child has a conversation with Michelle Obama. Okay, and I'll pull the picture up here in a second. And when the conversation is being had, obviously transgender from a boy to a girl or from a man to a woman, however you want to spin it, has this conversation, right? And as she's having the conversation, she simply says, hey, you were such a strong person for this. Like, you were such a strong person that I want to know how you did that. She's like, I read your book, and your book, Michelle, has given me so much inspiration, as it helped me in so many ways, and said, look, let's just say this. I'm so grateful for this book. How did you get through what you went through to come out and be who you really are? Like, that was the conversation. She said, how did you legit get through what you went through to be who you really are? And all of a sudden, the whole conversation got muted, like during that interview or during that whole thing. I don't know if you've seen it. You should look it up and check it out. So again, all of a sudden, it gets muted, right? And she can't explain what she's trying to say to Michelle Obama. Michelle says, hey, no, you know, my hat's to you and your friends and how they come out and how excited they can be and how great you can be and how much of a movie star you can be and how phenomenal you can be. And she turned the switch, and she did a really good job taking that conversation back. But the conversation is just this. I want to know why this is happening, why it's resurfacing. And then also they said, look, the chef, quote unquote, was someone who was around a lot. And they said, look, the chef knew a lot of the information. And then all of a sudden, the chef was killed, right? Like, the chef was no longer in the picture. The chef dies, the chef's gone, and people are like, wait a second. Why is the chef gone? Because he knows information, right? Part of the conspiracy, yes or no? Is Michelle Obama a man or a woman? You can put in the chat right now. And then it's Joan Rivers, right? Like, Joan Rivers got up there and said, wow, Michelle Obama, Joan Rivers literally said, oh, Michelle Obama is a man, and everybody knows it, right? And you're like, whoa, what? Like, Joan Rivers, she knows more than I know. Like, she knows more than I know. So, I mean, I'm just watching this. Like, she's around them. She goes, obviously, Michelle Obama's a man. And we're like, whoa, okay, that's interesting. And what happens to Joan Rivers? Joan Rivers is dead, right? Joan Rivers is dead. So I'm just saying, in this conversation right now, people can take it to heart. People can get upset. You can say what you want to say. You can be, oh my God, that's not true, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, everyone that's coming out and blasting this and saying this is also found dead. It's like, wow, that's interesting. And obviously, we're not trying to go down that road. But what we're trying to figure out is to bring it to light is, why is this conversation happening? And they have tons of pictures, tons of images, tons of things surfacing where people are like, look, this is Michelle Obama when she was younger. And I'm like, okay, that is interesting, right? To see all these pictures. And people are like, no, those are photoshopped. Those are pictures. It wasn't really her. She was way more feminine than that. And as she gets older, and the first lady, we're not disrespecting the first lady. We're just saying the truth is the truth. It's fine. Like, whatever it is, like we see nowadays, it's 2024. Like, people are coming out whatever they want to be. You got people becoming men, women, boys, girls. You got people becoming dogs, cats, hey, theys and thems and this. So all I'm saying is, I'm not against what you want to be. I'm just saying be who you want to be. Like, it doesn't really offend me or bother me whatsoever. But when you're looking at people that are in the office and people that are making decisions, all of a sudden there's a massive push for that, right? There's a massive push for that being okay for children to do all these things. So whether or not it's right or wrong, right, we're not going down that road. I'm just saying truthfully that it's a conversation that people are talking about. And I want to know what you guys think realistically. Is this something that am I nuts? Or are the people nuts? Or are people seeing things that they shouldn't be seeing? Or like, what's the situation? But I can just tell you right now, it is an interesting conversation. And before people get all crazy, I'm just making an announcement and I'll take these pictures down. It's just simply this. Live on our program, we talk about everything. So when I come on here and we do live sports and entertainment, we talk about sports 90% of the time. When something interesting like O.J. Simpson pops up, we cover that. That's important. Every day, 10 o'clock, we get on here live Monday through Friday. And then we do live stream play-by-plays. But all I'm saying is, if it walks like a duck and quack like a duck, something's going on. Unless somebody got up there on national TV, on national stage and just said, Michelle Obama 100% now is a man. People are like, why would they make that up? And then people are talking about Barack Obama. We won't go into the whole GAY conversation right now because we're not trying to say that about him, but people are saying all these different things and then connecting that conversation to obviously Michelle Obama. So listen, I'm not hating on them at all. I don't care what they want to be. I'm just bringing it to light. And the people that are watching this segment right now are watching this episode or watching this as it goes through YouTube. Sometimes it'll let this go through YouTube, but sometimes it won't because it will block certain things because of what's being said on the program. And that's okay. I'm not hating on her. I'm not saying that she is. All I'm saying is when people keep bringing it up and having conversation, I want to know what you guys think. I want to get the real synopsis and see if the real truth comes out. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying anything against the situation. And obviously, all of our condolences will go to O.J. Simpson's family. Because God forbid, if you get condolences to O.J. Simpson, people are going to say, why would you be so happy for them or give condolences to a murderer? I don't know that he did it or not. I'm just saying that he got acquitted of it at this point. So I'm going with what's being told with the facts on the media and what's being in the judicial system. That's all we can really believe in is the judicial system that we have, unless we don't believe in it at all, which certain people now are starting to do that also. So listen, I appreciate you guys joining in the live play-by-plays into our live streams every single day, 10 o'clock. Our program is going to expand. I hope that YouTube actually allows these things and these videos to get out there and surface. The reason how they will do that is if you like button, subscribe, and leave a comment during the live or after the live so people can start seeing these conversations. And good morning to everybody that is in here that is joining. And YouTube hopefully will allow this video to share because we're not shedding any hate or any of that on this video. We're just bringing it to light for people to talk about. Anyway, I appreciate you guys joining in every single day to our live feed and live stream. We're here every single day. I'm Brandon Mason, the host, every single day from 10 to 11-ish and sometimes 10 to 10:30 if we have a guest or not. I hope you guys have a great weekend heading into it. It's going to be Friday evening into Saturday. You're going to have a great time. Enjoy it. And we'll see you guys first thing Monday morning live. And this weekend, we got live play-by-plays with some of the games. See you guys soon.